Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Anticipate each challenge, make a quick response, capitalize on every opportunity, and win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum. I'm in downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle is right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you didn't think the Grizzlies would win in California for the first time this season last night, because that didn't happen. Went to Sacramento, shorthanded, lost again. Boo. 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 Make me stay up that late just to watch a double-digit loss in Sacramento. Boo. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. When we finish this open, we're going to take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Penny Hardaway said last night that he's not ready to rule out either of his point guards, including Tyrese Hunter, for Friday's NCAA tournament game with Boise State. But
Colorado State.
Did I say Boise State?
He did.
Colorado State. Sometimes you get your Mountain West schools confused, I guess. First round game with Colorado State. Seems more optimistic about Okogie than he does Tyrese Hunter.
Dante Harris.
What am I just making things up?
Yes. I think Rocco Okogie's okay.
I haven't slept much.
I know.
Let's start over. He seems more optimistic about Dante than he does Tyrese. We'll wait and get an official word, but not looking great there. I'll update you, and I'll get all the names right. We'll do that in about 20 minutes. 2025 NCAA tournament officially starts later today.
Okay.
And first game is going to feature Alabama State. That's a team coached by Memphis graduate Tony Madlock.
Awesome.
I'll tell you a little bit about that situation. We'll do that later on in the show. A fight between 2 employees at the Popeyes on Union has resulted in what? Did you read the story?
No.
Oh, it's good. A fight, the Popeyes on Union.
Yeah, I've been there.
Has resulted in one of them. These 2 employees got into a fight. One of them has been hit with a simple assault charge.
Oh, damn.
It's serious. The police are involved. According to police, one dude told his buddy, he said, hey, go make some biscuits
Yeah, because that comes with every order. You got to have those.
Go make some biscuits.
Yep.
And it appears that's all it took to get things popped off.
Damn.
Woo! I'll tell you more about it. We'll do that in just a bit. The Knicks beat the Heat last night inside Madison Square Garden, just like Bennett told you they would. And I don't know if you've been keeping up with your record, but I have. Bennett, I'm going to tell you your record during GP's carryout. You're going to be proud of yourself.
Tell the people.
You're going to be proud of yourself. You're doing so much better. You're going to be able to contrast this number I'm going to tell you today with the number I've been saying to you, and you're going to go, man, I'm so much better today.
Okay,
I'm proud of you. Good night for the Knicks.
Yep.
Good night for Bennett. Rough night for Tracy Morgan. Longtime Knicks super fan. Puked pretty bad while sitting court.
A lot of throw up.
Oh, my God. That's a lot of throw up, man.
Yeah.
Game had to be delayed. The comedian had to be wheeled out of the place. Rough stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get Kyra to show you all that vomit. We'll do that. We'll do that.
Get it ready, Kyra.
Kyra, get the vomit ready. We'll do that in the next segment. And John Cena opened Raw on Netflix. Not last night, but yesterday.
Yep.
I apologize. You might have noticed. Whether I get my...
You're losing a little track of time these days.
I get my Raw start times a little confused. Might get my Memphis injured players a little confused. A lot going on up here right now.
Mm-hmm.
Raw was in Europe. It started yesterday afternoon. I actually got to watch it.
Brussels, Belgium.
I've
been there.
I was like just on my way to the airport, just watch. Okay, been to Belgium.
Yeah, I'm well traveled.
I don't think I've ever been to Brussels. I don't think I've ever been to Belgium. Look at you.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to just on my way to the airport. I got to watch John Cena come make he opened Raw. Oh, he had some stuff to say.
Yeah, he did.
And we'll get Bennett's thoughts on that during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carry out and call it a day. So that's the rundown. It was bumpy. We got a lot to get to, but let's start with your Memphis Grizzlies because game 69 of a scheduled 82, it was played last night in Sacramento. It did not go well for the visitors. Final score, Kings 132, Grizz 122. It was inside the Golden One Center. Ja Morant was sidelined with hamstring soreness. Santi Aldama also didn't play because of a calf strain that's had him on the sideline for 6 straight games. Consequently, the Grizz closed as 3-point underdogs, then fell behind by 21, lose the game by 10. As is often the case when you lose in the NBA, the difference in this game was at the 3-point line. The Grizz took 33s, made 13 of them. That's a nice percentage, 43%, but it's not as nice as what Sacramento did. Sacramento took 41 threes, made 21 of them. That's 48.8%. So the Kings outscore the Grizz by 21 at the 3-point line, and that's a good way to snap what was for them a 4-game losing streak. Big Bet Bennett, we got a 20-point third quarter from Desmond Bain, a season-high 44-point effort on 26 shots, 7 of 7 from 3. That was fun. Added 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Brandon Clark came off the bench, got 15 and 8. That's the good stuff, but it wasn't enough. So the Grizzlies are now 0-7 in the state of California this season.
That's pretty wild. I didn't realize that until this morning.
Credit to Drew Hill, Daily Memphian, for throwing that in his story. That's where I grabbed that. What is it about Gavin Newsom's state that proves so difficult for your Memphis Grizzlies?
Well, I mean, we can first off, before I say this stuff, I mean, they didn't have a point guard last night, so I guess we can acknowledge that, right? Like, they didn't have a point guard last night, so that's going to be tough to win games without a point guard. But dude, they have not been good since the All-Star break. I mean, they just haven't. They have not beaten a good team since the All-Star break. If you want to include Orlando, maybe, but that was a tight game. They were missing some guys. That's an under 500 team. They haven't beaten anybody good since All-Star.
Well, let's make it factual. Because good is a subjective term.
Sure, I got you.
And I know what you mean. But people can have different definitions of what's good and what's bad and what's mediocre and whatever. So let's just keep it factual. Again, I'll go straight back to Drew Hill. The last time the Grizzlies beat a team that currently has a winning record, just when do you think it is? Give me a date. The last time you believe the Grizzlies beat a team that currently has a winning record. The date today is March 18th.
It has to be before All-Star break. It has to be. So I would say beginning of February. It would have been maybe the Bucks?
February 2nd, Milwaukee.
Yeah.
February 2nd. It's March 18th.
Yeah.
It's March 18th.
Yeah, man, it's a little concerning. Again, I know guys are in and out of the lineup, but we're getting close.
Well, like we used to, it was like, okay, terrible record against top 6 in the East, terrible record against top 6 in the West, great record against everybody else. The Kings are not top 6 in the East. The Kings are not top 6 in the West. This wasn't even loss to one of the undeniably perceived good teams. Or, again, let's just define it factually. Top 6 in the 6 or top 6 in the West. This is just a team. Now, you're shorthanded, and I got it, and that's tough. And you're in a stretch where you're playing, a lot of games. Mm-hmm. Friday, Saturday, Monday. I got it. But that is not a sentence I should be reading on March 18th if you want me to consistently continue to say, no, they're fine. No, they'll be okay. On March 18th, I shouldn't be able to sit here, confused as I am, and say, do you realize the Grizzlies hadn't beat a team with a winning record since February 2nd? That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it just, I know the Kings don't fall directly into the narrative, but at least in a different time, you were knocking out these teams.
Yeah.
You might not be beating the Cavs, you might not be beating the Thunder, but you get these teams. And last night you couldn't get this team.
Yeah, and I mean, even when...
And you fell behind by 21.
And even when it got, touch and go like throughout the season, and we were saying, well, it's fine. They're going to be fine. They were still second in the West. Like, they weren't falling in this. Well, now they're falling in the standings.
They're fifth in the West now.
Yeah. And again, it's tight, so, like, you can get it right back, but there's nothing happening lately to suggest that they're going to be able to string together, a couple wins, considering they play pretty much nothing but good teams from here on out. They play... they play this Portland team coming up. They played the Charlotte Hornets. Every other team they play the rest of the way is a good team that's in the playoffs. So there's nothing that suggests that they're going to put together a stretch, a winning streak to get them back in that 2 spot and to hang on to it. There's just nothing showing that right now.
Literally nothing, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here, but literally nothing we like to say when we're feeling good about things can be supported by facts. All right? Mm-hmm. We can all keep hoping. But
yes.
when I say prove it to me, show me something to support it, you can't show me anything to support it. You can keep saying everything will be fine. And it's just like Taylor Jenkins a few weeks ago, right? He's asked about Ja because Ja's missing another game. Mm-hmm. It's a shoulder thing again. And he's like, well, I just, he said all the things you would expect him to say. Ja's this, Ja's that. And when it's time to go, I know he's going to be there. How do you know that? How do you know that? What are you basing that on? Mm-hmm. I don't know that. In fact, you ready? I assume he won't be ready to go. Not consistently. I don't assume every playoff game that the Grizzlies play is Ja Morant's going to be in it. Do you?
No.
What would you base that on? If you were saying, well, when the playoffs get here, Ja, Jaren, Dez, then we'll be ready to go. What are you basing that on?
No, again, it's like you said, that's what we're hoping happens.
But like, I could be. We can all have hopes,
right?
But unless your hopes are rooted in some substance, you're just going to be disappointed over and over again. Mm-hmm. At some point, you got to attach your hopes to some real stuff. It's a shoulder one day, it's a hamstring the next. It's this is not a criticism. It's just a statement of fact.
Right.
It's not there's nothing you can do if your body can't stay healthy. This is not a criticism. How times like I come in here and I can't talk. Mm-hmm. It's not because I'm not working hard. In fact, it's probably because I'm working too hard.
Sure.
It gets very frustrating to not be able to do what you can do because something is hindering you. With Josh, sometimes it's shoulder, sometimes it's a hamstring, sometimes it's other things. But it is often something. And at this point, you just not acknowledging that is we're all just sitting around lying to each other. Like some of the greatest baseball memories I've had as an adult involved Jacob deGrom pitching for the New York Mets. He won 2 Cy Young Awards. When he was on the mound, there was in those times, nobody more fun to watch. Nobody more dominating. Nobody more electrifying. The best. Just didn't pitch a lot. When he pitched, oh, buddy, nothing better. Just didn't pitch a lot. And it feels similar. You know, I might be the only person in the world or one of the few whose two favorite professional sports franchises are the Mets and the Grizzlies. And they have a very similar thing. They have a generational talent, or at least at one point they did. A generational talent who, when is able to do his job, is unlike anything else in the world doing that job. Nothing else like it. But it's hard to consistently do the job for a variety of reasons. And, you know, here we are again with that. So if you're trusting Ja, Jaren, Dez, they'll all be healthy once the playoffs get here, what are you basing that on? That has not been true for literally years. In any sort of extended period of time, has not been true for years. All right? Well, they'll go, who do you think you're playing when you get into the Western Conference playoffs? It ain't going to be the Blazers.
Right.
You know? It's good teams. They haven't beat a team with a winning record, let's just keep it factual, since February 2nd. So this team that's never healthy and that never beats teams with winning records is just going to go into the playoffs and be healthy and beat teams with winning records? I hope so. Wouldn't that be awesome? I hope so. But what are you basing it on? Well, I'm asking you, and I'm not trying to set you up. I'm just like, argue with me. What are we basing it on?
I can't.
I know.
No, I can't.
I know.
I mean,
and that's frustrating.
Yeah, again, like this, and the thing is, like, you know, when Ja's played, Ja's been awesome when he's played recently.
Yes.
Like, he's been awesome. You know, Dez had a huge game last night. We've seen huge Jaren performances, obviously, this season. We were talking about it out there. Like, the thing is the way that it's going right now, you're just... The way this team's going to be successful is if all three of those guys are awesome at the same time, and it just hasn't happened lately. Like, obviously, they're not the guys in and out of the lineup.
First off, they're very rarely even in a position to all be awesome at the same time.
Right.
You know the first step to being all awesome at the same time?
Everybody's got to play together for a stretch of games.
You gotta all walk out there together, all right, in uniform. Dap each other up and jump ball, let's go. That's step one. We don't even get there a lot of times, including last night.
Yeah.
Then last night's a good example of this. All right, we're not going to have all three. That feels normal. Okay, great game from Dez. Didn't get a great game from Jaren. Other times it'll be great game from Jaren. Didn't get a great game. When are they? We all agree the key to the Grizzlies someday having parades is those three dudes being healthy and awesome.
That's right.
All at the same time. They're rarely healthy at the same time. And when they are, then the whole awesome stuff at the same time hasn't happened as much as we'd like for it to. If it did, they would have a different record than 9-16 against the top six in the East and the West. They would have beaten a team with a winning record, at least one, since February 2nd. It's March 18th. Next up, fourth game in a 6-day span, tomorrow night in Portland. So perhaps that's the key to getting back on the winning track. Just get a game at the Moda Center. You ready to stay up late again?
Yeah, I'm ready to stay up late. I mean, again, hopefully Ja's able to play. You know, last night, obviously it hurt a little bit to have Jake LaRavia cook you. It just did. I mean, especially considering that Gigi's in the G League right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he just is.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing.
Vince is not playing well.
No.
I mean, these are the guys that were your wings that, you know, other guys you moved on from to kind of rely on.
You move off of Jake. You move off of Marcus.
Yeah.
And Vince has just never been right.
And he's had injuries in his own right. But again, that goes back to the injury thing.
He's had injuries, and I think that's a part of it.
Yeah.
Just missing so much time.
Yep.
I don't care how talented you are. You miss a lot of real basketball time.
Yeah.
And just try to pick it up, you know, and this deep into the calendar, it can be difficult.
I think, too, they need Santi back. I mean, like you said earlier, he's missed 6 games. Santi's had a really good year.
He's maybe been their 4th best player this year, or at least a top 5 player on the team.
Yeah, they need him back. He brings a different dynamic to this team. So hopefully they can get him back soon. I think he was doubtful yesterday, so that's more encouraging. He's just been out throughout this stretch. So maybe he's getting closer to coming back on this road trip. That helps you a little bit. But again, you need that big three together, man. And that's what I've been saying to you is I hope as we get closer and closer to the playoffs that you can just get a stretch of games with all three of those guys playing together, because I just think you need it before the playoffs start.
I agree. I just hate that we have reached a point where everything we have to say has to be prefaced, or at least, if not prefaced by, it has to include somewhere the word hope.
Yeah.
We're just attaching a lot of stuff to hope. Like in Cleveland, they're not hoping they can be great. They know they are. You know, in Oklahoma City, they're not hoping they can be great. They know they are. Mm-hmm. We just sit around hoping for something that we hadn't actually seen. Like you're just hoping for this.
Yeah.
And it ain't really happened. What are they going to have to do when for this to be a successful playoff run? What has to happen? Well, they have to be healthy.
Yes.
That ain't good luck. Well, they'll have to be good teams. Good luck. Hadn't been doing that. Mm-hmm. The keys to having a successful playoff run are both things you haven't been able to do.
Right.
You ready for this? In years.
Right.
I'm going to stay hopeful, though.
I'm going to stay hopeful, too.
I'm going to stay hopeful. I'm going to stay up late. I'm going to stay hopeful, and I'm going to stay up late again tomorrow night, 9 o'clock
Gotta
tip
get a win
at the Moda Center. Get your coffee ready or your 5-hour energy ready or whatever it is you need, whatever it is you do to stay up late at night and watch basketball on a Wednesday night. That's what you're going to have to do.
That hurt. That last night hurt.
Oh,
my heart, my soul.
Bennett, you can't win them all. But it'd be nice to win some.
I'd like to win some.
I'd like to win more. Can't win them all. Here's my new motto. Can't win them all. Don't want to be greedy. Can't win them all. But I'd like to win more.
I just want to beat this is what I want this week. I want to beat a good playoff team. That's what I want to do this week. That is what I would love to see this team do this week, is beat a good playoff team, because they will have multiple chances to do that.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. We come back. We'll turn our attention to the NCAA tournament. Penny Hardaway had his radio show last night. Updated the injury status of various players. I don't know which ones exactly, but I'm going to figure it out in this break, and then we'll talk about it. We'll do that next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
We will get into all things Grizzlies, but first and foremost, a big congratulations to the Memphis Tigers for locking up at least a share of the AAC title. First time since joining the American Athletic Conference that they are regular season conference champs.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Grammy, Academy, and Golden Globe award-winning superstar Mary J. Blige, live in Memphis. The For My Fans Tour, live at FedEx Forum Saturday, April 19th, with special guests Neo and Mario. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The iconic Mary J. Blige for one night only.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's OrthoSouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Penny Hardaway, that's your Memphis basketball coach. That's your AAC Coach of the Year. Held his weekly radio show last night at Brookhaven and addressed the injury situations connected to Tyrese Hunter and Dante Harris. Obviously, both of them missed the AAC tournament title game. Memphis still beats UAB to secure a number 5 seed in the NCAA tournament, playing Colorado State on Friday. The questions are simple. Who's going to be available? Who is not? Bennett, you read the quotes. It sounds like optimistic Dante Harris will be available to play. Less optimistic Tyrese Hunter is going to be available to play. Is that the way you interpret it?
Yeah, the quote was from Penny. Harris's ankle is still a little sore, but getting way better. Tyrese, we'll see tomorrow on him on how we'll handle things. He's in a little more difficult situation, still in great spirits, still feeling like he can try, but we'll see.
So I would assume one plays and one doesn't. And we can, continue to hope for the best. But have you heard a single thing that makes you think Tyrese Hunter is going to be in uniform, available to play by Friday?
No.
No, I haven't either.
I mean, I just, again, I know you're being, a lot of times, you get scared by a boot, by crutches and stuff like that.
First off, let me stop for 1 second. They should already know.
That's right. And I think we'll find out here pretty soon because he said today.
There's no reason Penny Hardaway didn't know last night what is going on with his foot. This happened days ago.
Yeah, for sure.
If my son injured his foot, we would, over the weekend, we would know what's going on with it by now.
Yeah.
Just for...
Right.
So you know.
I remember earlier this season when Ja had the ankle injury, and the next game he came out on crutches in a boot, and everybody was like, oh my God, this is scary. What happened? Well, he was back not super long after that. So crutches in a boot, that can always be a precautionary thing. The thing is, he was putting no weight on it, not even trying to put any weight on it. So it seems that you're going to be able to turn it around in less than a week and play in a game. Yeah. It seems far-fetched.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Boots should not independently scare you if you see a boot on a player. That is often precautionary.
Yeah.
You just put it. I can remember Antonio Burks, when I was the beat writer, used to it felt like just live in a boot. He was just always in a boot, and it was just precautionary. And then they'd take it off and go play. But he just felt like he was always in a boot. That independently doesn't mean everything, but just the way he was moving. And the way Penny's talked about it. You ready for this? Alabama also had a player suffer a injury this weekend. Grant Nelson, second leading scorer. Nate Oates held his media availability last night. You know what he said? We got it back. It's not as bad as it could have been. We're hoping he's ready to go Friday, if not at the latest Sunday. My point is,
Yeah. And Penny is always tended to be pretty optimistic when it comes to these things. So
yeah, they know what it is.
Yeah.
So not ideal. It stinks. You work so hard, and even in the NBA, when this type of stuff happens, because it's happened to the Grizzlies before. You're in a series with the Lakers, and now Ja's hurt or whatever.
Yeah.
Even when it happens in the NBA, it stinks. But you can sort of, in most cases, say, well, Ja will be back next year. And Des will be back next year, and Jaron will be back next year, and we'll try again.
Yeah.
There's not always a next year, but there is often a next year.
Yep.
In college basketball, you don't get that. This is it. Penny Hardaway will have this team for this season. He'll never have this team again. There is no running it back. All right? This is it. This is the team.
Right.
You get one shot at this. And now you made controversial or at least unusual personnel decisions just before the start of the season. You had to remake your entire roster for the most part in one offseason. And yet you still schedule aggressively in the non-league portion so that you can theoretically build up an at-large resume. But there was just as good of a chance, if not better, if we're being honest, that non-league schedule killed them. You realize that non-league schedule could have buried them. Mm-hmm. We could have known by middle of December, if they didn't play well against that non-league schedule, that they're going to have to win the AAC tournament. They could have done so much damage to themselves. And also lost confidence, just got beat down. Mm-hmm. Then the losses start to stack up. And then that's the end of your head coaching career. That's on the day this season started, if we're being honest, what was more likely? This was the last year of Penny Hardaway, or he got a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament?
I do not think that this would, regardless of what happened, would have been the last year of Penny Hardaway.
It could have been.
It
could have been.
But I don't think so.
It could have been. If it got real bad, it could have been.
Yeah.
All right? And yet we're sitting here, and the bad stuff didn't happen. The good stuff did. They were incredible against the non-league schedule, and then mostly great in the league. And then they went out and won the league tournament while dealing with adversity. It's all great stuff, like awesome stuff. You get the 5 seed that you were chasing. Might even be a little bit better than the seed you thought you were going to get.
Yeah. Oh, definitely is.
And now, not your best player, but certainly one of your most important ones, probably ain't going to be available, and it stinks, and you'll never get it back. It's just you think Bill Self never thinks about this? Bill Self had to coach in the NCAA tournament one year. Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Like, you only get one shot to make a tournament run with Joel Embiid, and he didn't get to do it. Like, you never get these things back, and I fear that Penny's never going to get an opportunity to be able to run this team through a bracket at full strength, and that's unfortunate. It's not unique to him, but it is unfortunate.
If I'm looking for the positive in it, one thing that's obviously emerged as of late and all the successes they've had recently is that PJ Haggerty's been awesome all season. We know that. Dane Danger has been amazing the second half of the season. We know that too. Ever since they inserted him in that starting lineup, he's been incredible. And so you got 2 guys that you're really going to run this thing through, and everybody else is playing a good. And that's the other thing too. They've got guys that are playing great complementary roles. So you just get those guys the ball. Play your complimentary. You need Colby Rogers, PJ Carter on the 3-point line, knocking down wide open shots. And then can these 2-point, if they get Dante Harris back, can these 2-point guards not turn the ball over and get the ball to the best players?
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, if you can beat UAB without Tyrese Hunter, you can beat Colorado State without Tyrese Hunter.
I think so too.
Colorado State's better. They are than UAB, and in some computers, better than Memphis. Favored over Memphis for a reason. Mm-hmm. But I am not going so far as to say Tyrese Hunter is probably out and Memphis can't win the game. Of course Memphis can win the game. But it's easier when Tyrese Hunter's there. And if he's not,
for sure,
that stinks.
Now, he, in fairness too, he has not had as good of a second half of the season as he did early. In that non-conference, he was killing it, Tyrese Hunter. Yeah. And then he got hurt. And his production hasn't been as consistent the second half of the season. It's, like I said, been more PJ Haggerty and Dane Danger, but clearly he's been a massive part of their success this season.
I just like having somebody who's played in these games.
I agree.
He's played in these games. Yes. He knows what it feels like. He knows what it looks like. I like having him available. And most indications are that he likely won't be. And again,
I hate it, man. I agree. I hate it.
It's just unfortunate. You look at, and I hesitate to say every coach, but lots of coaches have these because the margins are so thin. So lots of coaches have these, but we really might be able to reasonably sit here after 7 years of Penny Hardaway and say things like this. if the weird ending of the FAU game just goes the other way, you're playing a 16 seed in the round of 32. You're knocking them out. You're in the Sweet 16 multiple years, 2 years ago. You've already got your first Sweet 16 appearance under Penny Hardaway. That's done. All you had to do was hold on against FAU and then beat a 16 seed. So, and then like, let's see where it goes. FAU took it all the way to the Final Four. So
that's right.
Who knows where that goes if that end of that FAU game goes differently, which it very easily could have. All right?
Cheated.
Perhaps should have.
Uh-huh.
Then here we are again. You've been ranked in the top 20 all season long in the human polls. You got a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament. You're playing a Mountain West Conference team that wouldn't even have made the NCAA tournament probably, or at least maybe not have made it if they wouldn't have won their conference tournament. But you just lost a veteran guard to a foot thing, and yuck.
Yeah.
You could look back and go, all right, like, let's just, for the sake of the conversation, I'm not predicting this, but for the sake of the conversation, let's say the game goes exactly as the point spread suggests. Colorado State wins. Penny's reality will be 7 years, 1 NCAA tournament win. That's just not great relative to other Memphis coaches who have had the job that long. It's just not. We can talk about that another day. But then you go, well, remember the 1 year, if they just hold on against FAU and that goes differently, they would have been in the Sweet 16 and could have been all the way to the Final Four. And then in the other year, what if they had Tyrese Hunter? It's just a what-if game forever. It stinks. It stinks. I think
they're going to win.
I hope they're going to win. I hope we get good news about Tyrese Hunter.
I do too.
As always, we'll see. Can I say one thing real quick?
Yes.
Because I didn't even realize this was a thing until I hopped on Twitter yesterday and it was a thing. So we did this 3-hour.
You didn't defend us, GP.
Except I did. Most people watching right now have no idea what we're talking about. But we did a 3-hour post-selection show on CBS Sports Network on Sunday night. Thank you to everybody who watched.
I watched.
Thank you.
I watched.
And at one point, I'm over on a side set with Kiana Martin, who's one of our hosts, and Mackenzie Brooks, who's a betting analyst for CBS Sports. So we're colleagues, but I'd never worked with her before. I'd never met her before. Sunday was the first time she'd ever been in the CBS Broadcast Center. She mostly does CBS Sports HQ stuff, but they brought her up for this show, and she was terrific. Really great. Incredibly talented young woman. She's got a bright future. Brighter than ours, probably. So anyway, we're doing a segment, me, Kiana, and Mackenzie, on a side set over here, and it's just like a probability segment. You've probably been watching sports cable networks.
I know how it works.
It's a lot of betting stuff and a lot of gambling stuff and a lot of probabilities and percentages, and it's one of those conversations. And so she's just run the numbers on all of this stuff, simulations, and the computer just spits out what it spits out. And then she tries to verbalize what it is we're looking at, right? That's her job. The computer, it's not her job to come up with the data. She just puts the data into the computer and spits it out. Then she interprets the data and verbalizes it for us. That's her job. Or at least that's my impression of what her job is. I probably shouldn't be telling her what her job is, but that's my impression of it. And she's great at it. And so what the computer told her, again, this is important to know, this isn't just Mackenzie's opinion necessarily. What the computer told her is that the best spot for a 12-5 upset in the entire bracket is Colorado State over Memphis. And in fact, I believe the Sportsline simulations gave Colorado State like a 70% chance to win the game. Colorado State is favored in the game.
Right.
So that's the data. And then she's interpreting it. And she used the word fraudulent about Memphis, which, whatever. It's not a word I would use, but, you know, it's okay to have different opinions about basketball teams. And so there's this clip that some Memphis fan clipped, apparently, from that show, and it's Mackenzie just trashing Memphis. Okay? And
I saw it.
And she calls them fraudulent. And I am, if you watch the clip that's on social media, And I'm just sort of standing there trying to look as skinny as I can look.
Why didn't you speak up?
Okay, you ready for this? And then the clip ends, and immediately I've got people in my mentions like, and GP can't even say anything, can't even take up for us. First off, whoever clipped that is an asshole. All right?
They hate you.
They
hate you.
Because I did take up for Memphis. Because I did counter what she said. You know what I didn't do? Interrupt a 24-year-old woman on live national television that I don't know. I would have been very comfortable if that were different people that I've worked with. If that were Wally Zerbiak, I'd have been like, "Wally, what are you talking about? Fraudulent." We'd have had it. This is a 20. Do you close your eyes and think of the visual?
Then we get a different viral clip.
Yes,
You're right.
Think of the visual of an old, bald, fat man listening.
You're not fat, man.
Listening to a young woman have a basketball opinion rooted in data, and then me telling her that she's wrong or interrupting her just to say anything. It's not a good look. It's not. I've been working in television long enough to know visuals matter. The way something appears matters. If you thought I was going to jump in and interrupt this 24-year-old woman and talk down to her on television, you're out of your mind. So I waited till she was finished, and if you'd have just let the clip go, you would have heard.
Nah, they cut you off.
They cut it off and then said it. I just stood there silently. I didn't. I waited for her to finish her thought. I didn't want to interrupt her. I wanted to listen to everything she had to say, and then as politely as I can do it, say, here's the truth. Memphis, terrible predictive metric numbers. We all know that. That's why they're an underdog. Memphis, obviously missing Tyrese Hunter, it appears. That's not good. But fraudulent, I'd push back on that a little bit. Memphis comes from a not-so-great league. This is what I said. There's plenty of data to support that. But this is a Memphis team that has beaten the outright Big Ten champs that are a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. This is a Memphis team that was 6-1 in Quadrant 1. Yeah, they got some Quadrant 3 stuff there that's not great. But if you had to play as many Quadrant 3 and 4 games as they had to play, you'd probably lose some of them too.
Yeah.
They beat good teams. You know who's maybe fraudulent? North Carolina. They were given 13 opportunities to grab Quad 1 wins, and they missed on 12 of the 13. That's fraudulent. Memphis has actually beaten great teams. Memphis didn't beat the bad teams by enough to help the efficiency numbers, and that's why the predictive metrics are bad and why Memphis is an underdog. But the idea that Memphis hasn't beaten anybody or just built a resume by beating bad teams and not really the good ones, that's just not true. And I pointed all that out in the nicest way I could. I pointed all of that out. But somebody did me dirty with that clip.
Yeah, that ain't gonna get clicks, bro.
Sorry. If you don't clip that right there and you let it go for another 5 seconds, the first words out of my mouth are something along the lines of, "Oh, buddy, I'm gonna have a lot to answer for when I get back home." I prefaced it like that and then explained how Memphis is not fraudulent at all. But that part didn't make it to Twitter. And
I'll go find the full clip.
Thank you, Bennett.
And post it.
Thank you, Bennett. I don't know why people are always just looking for the worst. I didn't sit there silently as my alma mater got trashed.
Yeah.
I sat there and politely listened to a colleague, waited for her to finish her thought, which is what you're supposed to do. All right? Be a good colleague. Mm-hmm. Waited for her to finish her thought, and then I countered her thought with my own thoughts.
You are a good colleague.
You're a good colleague too, Bennett.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Number 2.
The 2025 NCAA tournament officially starts tonight. And
okay, what do we got?
Well, the first game. The game everybody's going to pay attention to is North Carolina, San Diego State, because the Tar Heels are in and they probably shouldn't be. And San Diego State's a big brand. You know, the past 3 national championship games, UConn played in 2 of them. That means only 5 schools total have appeared in at least one of the past 3 national championship games. 2 of them are playing tonight against each other, North Carolina and San Diego State. So big brands. Interesting game because of all the controversy connected to North Carolina. And I'll probably get you to pick that one later.
Okay.
But I want to talk to you about St. Francis, Pennsylvania, and Alabama State because you got fun stories on both sides. And let me tell you the St. Francis stuff first because the other one's more interesting to you. St. Francis is coached by a guy named Rob Krimmel. And he grew up in the state and had no interest whatsoever in going to St. Francis.
Okay.
He wanted to go to Penn State or a big football school. But he ended up in Loretto, Pennsylvania on a trip, on a school visit, and just decided, all right, I guess this is where I'll go. And all these years later, he's the head coach there at his alma mater. And he just led them to an automatic bid by winning the Northeast Conference tournament title game.
Here we are.
And like after the game, Matt Norlander was there, my colleague at CBS Sports, and got to talk to Rob and like got real emotional. Like when I was 17 years old, this is the last place on earth I ever wanted to be. And now I've made this place my home. And this is hard, man. Coaching at this level. This ain't Alabama. This ain't Tennessee. This ain't Kansas. We ask me how much NIL I got. 0. None of these players are here because I paid them to be here. Maybe they're here because they didn't have better options. Maybe they're here because they just wanted to be here and they took pride in this place. But nobody's here for money. We're all just here doing the best we can, fighting. And to then be able to climb a ladder and cut nets, like we've talked about before, when Todd Golden does it at Florida, I know it means something to him. And when Dusty May does it at Michigan, I know it means something to him. And those are the ones we see on big national TV, and they bring the stages out, and they do 30-minute ceremonies, and we're all watching them on TV, and there's confetti. And at this level, it's a little different, a little less fanfare. You don't fly back home on a private plane and have 5,000 people waiting for you at the private airport.
Right.
This is a different life you're living. I cover college basketball. I don't think I could have told you who Rob Krimmel was 2 weeks ago. All right? But now I know he's a coach at St. Francis, and he'll be on the sideline tonight for the first game of the 2025 NCAA tournament. And you know who's going to be on the other sideline? Tony Madlock.
It's freaking awesome.
Awesome.
Dude, I got my friend Jason Smith had a great tweet, and he said, man, if Larry Finch ain't smiling down from heaven today watching Penny and Tony Madlock both both win their conference titles and lead their respective programs into the NCAA tournament. And then he also mentions Tim Duncan, AD at Memphis. You got Andre Turner, Dwight Boyd on Penny's. Like, dude, there's a lot of Larry Finch in this NCAA tournament. That's pretty cool.
It's great. And I imagine taking a school to the NCAA tournament is an awesome feeling, particularly when you're doing it for the first time. But, like, Tony's son, TJ's on his roster. He's doing this with his son.
Yeah, man.
You might have remembered a couple years ago, there was a viral clip. Tom Izzo went viral talking about it. It was senior night for his son, Steven Izzo. And they had a post-game interview with Andy Katz. And it went viral because Tom teared up and Steven teared up. It was really sweet, like a father. It was just really sweet. And I couldn't help but contrast it with, it's probably like 2010, 2011, about 15 years ago or so. We did this project where I would go spend 3 or 4 days on the road in the summer with a high major coach. And at the time, my colleague Jeff Goodman would go spend 3 or 4 days on the road recruiting with a low major coach, and we just contrast the lifestyles, right? So I was like in private planes with Tom Izzo and, car services and like the whole deal. It was like, unless we were sleeping, Tom and I were together every minute. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, sat together during games, sat together on the planes, spent a lot of time together. In car rides. Like even when I was leaving, I remember I was leaving, I think I was flying out of Akron and flying to Atlanta, maybe for Peach Jam. I was going straight from there to Peach Jam. And like Tom, actually was like, I'll just drive you to the airport. I'm tired of watching basketball. let me. So like he dropped me off the same way like your wife might drop you off at the airport. Tom Izzo just dropped me off at the airport. We spent a lot of time together. And after a while, and I had known Tom pretty well even before this trip, which is why I felt comfortable asking him if I could do it. He said yes, and so we did it. My point is that after a while, the basketball conversations stop. When you're with somebody 9 hours a day and the silence is uncomfortable, it's like, well, tell me about your wife. Tell me about your kids.
Yeah.
And we got into those conversations. And I just remember him really being conflicted in ways that made sense to me. with what kind of father he was. And one of the things he explained to me, and it made sense to me, is that he never really felt comfortable where he's at, ever. He said, every time I'm in the office, I feel like I should be at the playground or at home watching a movie with my wife. But when I'm at home watching a movie with my wife, I don't feel like that's where I should be. I feel like I should be at the office getting ready for another game. I'm never comfortable. And he's like, I know I miss stuff. And I can just remember he and I both were like just calling back home to check in, and you don't know when you're going to see anybody again. And just, I know he missed a lot of his son growing up, which, needless to say, I do as well. And I just know how much it meant to him to be able to then, how about this? Like it's opposite for most fathers or most mothers. You're around your children mostly, 0 to 18, and then probably less. For Tom, it was the exact opposite. He wasn't around his son that much from 0 to 18, but then his son was a walk-on at Michigan State, and they got to spend every day together.
Yeah, that's
in the
cool.
gym every day, at practice every day, at dinner every night. And ask Tom Izzo about that if you ever get the chance. He'll talk about national championships and Final Fours. The 4 years he got to spend with his son on that campus with him, those are the best.
Yeah.
Though it didn't result in a national championship, those are his favorites. He got some stuff back that I think if you're a father or a mother, if you miss stuff, you always hope that you maybe can. He did. He got that. And I just remember watching that interview and recognizing how much that meant to him. Not just to win that game or win all the games they won together, but to just have that time, right?
Yeah.
Tony's getting to do that right now. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Dude, and I'm rooting like hell for them tonight because think about it. You win this game in the first 4, and then you get to play Auburn, a school that is 30 minutes from your school.
Yeah.
Like that's as good as it gets, bro. Like Auburn is probably in Montgomery, Alabama. Auburn's probably a big deal, and that's pretty cool that they got an opportunity to possibly play that school.
And I thought I was remembering this right. I am as I'm looking at it. Tony was an assistant coach at Auburn for Tony Barbie.
Yeah, sure was. Yep.
So
there's a lot of connections.
There's a lot of connections here. I'm just really happy for Tony for this reason mainly. First off, he's getting this moment with his son. That's awesome. He's getting this moment of accomplishment. That's terrific. He also had to wait a long time to get this opportunity, to get opportunities like this. He is the classic person who got labeled, right or wrong, as, oh yeah, he's a nice assistant. Good guy, nice assistant. I don't know if he's head coach material. That's what people will say. There's usually some coding stuff in there too. But he's 55 years old. And he didn't become a head coach at the Division I level until 2021. He's in his 50s. Like other coaches, Jay Lucas just got the Miami job in his 30s. John Shire got the Duke job in his 30s. Tony Manlock had to come a different way, take a different path. If he was frustrated, I never heard about it. And I'm sure he was, but just kept doing his job, waiting for opportunities. He finally becomes a Division I head coach, and now he's at Alabama State, head of the NCAA tournament, and he'll be on a big stage tonight. Like, I don't love the first 4, but one of the things I do love is that if it weren't for the first 4, we would not be talking about Tony Manlock or Rob Krimmel at all.
Right. You're getting highlighted tonight where you might not on a Thursday or Friday.
You'd be playing Thursday against Auburn. You'd be a 29-point favorite. You'd lose by 35, and we'd never even think about you for a second.
Right.
This does at least put these people who are never on a stage on an actual stage, and I can't wait to see Tony on that stage tonight. I've known him for a long time. Initially just grew up as a fan of his. He's a Tiger basketball player.
Right.
I was a Tiger basketball fan. That's where it starts. But then given our careers, I get a chance to know him, a little bit on a personal level, and have always rooted for him, and I'll be rooting like crazy for him tonight. It's a sweet story. I hope if you get a chance, you can check it out.
Number 3.
Now to the good stuff.
Let's go.
Enough of that sappy shit.
What's going on?
Enough of that sappy father-son bullshit. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the good stuff.
Okay.
Popeyes on Union. Oh, we had a fight.
Okay.
There's an altercation between employees. Seems to be two males. Let me tell you what happened.
I know about that Popeyes.
It's tough.
It ain't the best Popeyes.
I'm going to tell you something right now.
Let's hear it.
I'm going to tell you something right now. Is there a best Popeyes? Is there a best Popeyes? And I'm saying this as somebody who loves Popeyes.
I love Popeyes too. But how much do I get it? Not much. And it takes a minute.
They ain't quick with it.
Right.
They ain't quick with it. You want to go to Popeyes, you better think about how much time you got. All right?
You need to carve out 30 minutes.
When that chicken sandwich first came out at Popeyes, I am not exaggerating.
An hour.
I would just sit there. There was like one on American Way or right over there by 92.9. And I'd just be like, man, I want one of these chicken sandwiches so bad. And I would just be like, I've been sitting here for 45 minutes waiting on a chicken sandwich. How fat am I?
Man, I'll never forget the chicken sandwich wars. What a time. What a time to be alive.
I would just be sitting there. Like, I claim to be busy. But if I were as busy as I say I am, I shouldn't be sitting here for 45 minutes.
Right.
But it was
it was important, though. It was
so
important
good.
for the show, too.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. But I haven't had one in... It's been a minute.
Once the wars ended, like, it was just like...
But I'll still have a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich all the time.
Oh, well, yeah, that goes without saying.
But I can get it like that. Popeyes, I never know if I need 45 minutes.
Right.
It's like, you want to watch the next episode of The White Lotus or get a chicken sandwich? You pick, but you can only do one.
Right.
You can only do one. Tough.
It's tough. All right, what happened to this Popeyes?
All right. They're over there frustrated. Probably because it ain't going so well.
Yeah. Got 2 cars in line.
Got 2 cars in line. That's going to cause issues. Chick-fil-A could have 7,000 cars in line, and they would be the calmest. They just have their little iPads out. They'd be like, you want your Chick-fil-A sauce?
Yep.
Can I get you some honey mustard? They're just nothing phases them.
Do you know how I know I'm a fat ass?
Huh?
They know my name. The Chick-fil-A that I go to now, they know my name when I pull up. It should make me feel good. Like, dang, that is so nice that they reckon, but instead it makes me feel horrible.
I have those types of things all the time. Like, the places people recognize you.
They're like, oh, hey, Mr. Bennett. I'm like, damn it.
Like, the places people recognize you.
Yeah.
Like, that says something about you. You know? So I've had these at the Sky Club in New York City at LaGuardia. I don't even have to tell them what I want when I walk to the bar. They're just like, hey, good to see you again.
Yeah.
Here's the guy with the Mets hat.
drunk.
Here's the drunk with the Mets hat. Like, you ready for this? I am more likely to walk through the airport and know the names of people than I am to walk through this building and know the names of people.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing.
It's a weird thing.
So they're over at Popeyes.
Okay.
They're frustrated. As you would be, probably. You know, it can get stressful. So, apparently they're running low on biscuits.
Okay. And that's a problem. I think those come with every order, right? Like
They should.
Yeah.
If they don't, they should.
Yeah, those biscuits are great.
At some point, Buddy says to the other buddy, hey, go make some biscuits.
Okay.
You would think that would not lead to a fist fight. Not at the Popeyes on Union. Next thing you know, stepping outside. Buddy stepped outside. I just want to read you the story. The story is...
Yeah.
Like, it comes from Fox 13. The story as it's written is way funnier than I can tell it.
Okay.
Beef between coworkers at a chicken restaurant led to charges being filed against a Popeyes employee. Okay, I'm in. All I had to do was read that. That's a good lead. I'm in now. Memphis police said 2 employees of a Popeyes chicken on Union Avenue got into a fight Friday after one employee asked another to do his job. Do your job.
Yeah, we need biscuits. We got a line of cars.
Do your job. Your job is to make biscuits. Do your job.
Yeah.
All right. According to MPD, one man walked up on the other man twice during the workday. This has been brewing.
Oh, okay.
This has been brewing throughout the day after being asked to make biscuits for the business. The man who called police told officers that he then asked the other employee to step outside so they could talk. I know what that means.
I know what that means.
Buddy, if you are ever at the Popeyes on Union and somebody asks you to step outside so they can talk,
It's going down.
it's going down. All right? That's it might be over for you. The last thing I'm doing at the Popeyes on Union is stepping outside if somebody asks me to. I will go lock myself in the bathroom before I do that. I know what's coming next. This ain't my first. I know what's coming next. So, That's when, this is the part that made me laugh. So the one employee said, hey, let's take it outside.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you. Let's take it outside. This is the part that made me laugh. That's when police said the slacking employee. they've labeled this guy a slacker because he won't make biscuits.
Come on.
That's when police said the slacking employee ran up to the other man and swung at him. Other employees broke up the fight, but as the bad biscuit maker, they've labeled him again. The slacking employee and the bad biscuit maker. I got to know who writes this for Fox 13. It's so funny.
Yeah, that's good.
What else can we call this guy besides his name? How about a slacking employee? Okay, cool. Anything else? We don't want to use his name. Bad biscuit maker.
That's
okay,
good,
cool.
Yeah.
Bad biscuit maker is good. The bad biscuit maker left the restaurant. He allegedly told his work nemesis. His work nemesis at Popeyes. Imagine having a work nemesis at Popeyes. Who do you think your work nemesis is? Who's your work nemesis?
I don't know. I like everybody up here.
Who's your work nemesis? CJ?
No, we get along well.
Roser?
No, we get along great.
Darby?
She's problematic.
She is problematic.
She's problematic.
She's
yeah,
problematic.
she's a little problematic.
That's your work nemesis.
It might be.
Do you identify Darby as your work nemesis?
No, she's great.
I don't think I have a work nemesis. I don't think I'm here enough.
No, I don't have a work nemesis.
I
I get along well with everybody up here.
I think I either get along well with you or
Yeah.
like I just don't even get along at all.
Sometimes Vernon tries to check, but I still like him.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
You just have to take him for what he is.
Like I know that comes with the territory.
Yeah, you just have to take him for what he is.
Right.
Like you just have to love all parts of him.
Right.
You have to love all parts of him.
Right.
So I don't think I have a work nemesis, but this fella did here at Popeyes.
Of course.
Imagine
the bad biscuit maker
had a work nemesis. I love that you can have a work. I love think about this. If you work at Popeyes, this is your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
This is all you're talking about is the shit that went on Friday, and all the little nemesis that they're running around the place.
Yeah.
I remember like working in a pizza shop, and the little in pizza shop drama is just always interesting.
I worked at a pizza shop too.
I know that about you.
Yeah, there is a little, if you want to call it a pizza shop, but yeah, there's a little drama.
There's
a little drama.
And
yeah.
every once in a while, somebody would tell me, it's a weird thing in these jobs. Now I'm just talking.
Mm-hmm.
Often the dynamics in these jobs are kind of weird. I remember working at a Pizza Hut and a Papa John's, and the dynamics are usually, it's a young, like I'm in college building towards something, and you're being bossed around by somebody who maybe isn't headed anywhere. So you got this weird relationship where you think you're going somewhere special, you hope, or different or whatever, and this other person really doesn't aspire to any of that, but they are in charge of you and they can talk down to you.
That's right.
And you're like,
Hold up.
Yeah. I don't even want to say anything that could be interpreted as insulting. But you understand what I'm thinking here.
I understand what you're thinking.
All right.
Yeah.
So imagine maybe something like that's going on.
Probably so.
Like, who are you
to tell me to make biscuits?
And it's like, well, I'm your boss, and you're the biscuit maker.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I got it, but like, I don't really know how it goes down. I just know that it got uncomfortable at some point.
Yeah.
So the nemesis... The nemesis said he was going to return to work to shoot the victim up. And that's when the cops said, all right, we got to step in.
We got to intervene
All
there.
right.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do about this? You got one guy punching another guy over biscuit making, and the other guy saying, all right, well, now I got to go get a gun and shoot you.
This was the bad biscuit maker that threatened to go get a gun?
The slacking employee ran up to the other man and swung at him. So the bad biscuit maker threw the first punch.
Yeah.
The bad biscuit maker was like, hey, I hear you. You keep wanting me to make biscuits. Come outside for a second. I got to talk to you. Guy's like, all right, I'll come outside. Let's talk about biscuits outside. He walks outside. Boom.
Boom.
All right.
The guy that got punched is like, well, now I got to go get a gun.
Other employees broke up the fight, but as the bad biscuit maker left the restaurant, he allegedly told the work nemesis that he would return to shoot the victim up.
Well, you started it. Why are you trying to come back and shoot the guy?
Yeah, there's some red flags here for sure.
I think these labels of the bad biscuit maker are accurate, bro. Like what's wrong with you?
You're not making your biscuits. First off, that's the first problem. You're not making your biscuits.
And now the guy that asked you to, you're going to try to shoot him? He didn't do anything wrong.
What if I told Kyra to have a video ready, and if she didn't, I said I'm going to shoot her?
Yeah, that's not.
That's not normal workplace behavior.
No, it's not.
Like if I asked Kyra or you to have something ready and you didn't, I would be slightly disappointed, but probably mostly quiet.
Yeah.
And definitely not threaten to shoot you.
Yeah.
You guys better be glad you don't work at the Popeyes on Union.
Yeah, I'm glad.
It's a different place over there. I might go there today just to pop
Just
in.
to go to the scene of the crime.
Yeah, just to see what's up.
I am kind of. I drive past it
I
every
drive
day.
past it all the time.
Yeah.
I might go just pop in, just be like, "What's up?"
I might too.
Yeah, let's go together. Maybe we should go together.
You want to?
Strengthen numbers.
A little lunch date.
Strengthen numbers.
Okay.
You know, just in case. But if somebody asks you to step outside to talk, don't do that.
All right. Hope you got 2 hours to kill.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't. We'll figure it out.
Rain check.
Rain check.
Number 4.
Congratulations to the New York Knicks. They beat the Miami Heat last night inside Madison Square Garden, won the game, covered the number. That was a win for Bennett. Now let's get to the headline. Tracy Morgan went viral, the famed comic and comedian actor. He was sitting courtside, as he often does, at Knicks games. And, buddy, he got sick. Kyra, can we even show it? I don't even know what's appropriate. Kyra said we can't show it. I didn't even know if it was appropriate. I wanted to, though, but I didn't know if it was appropriate.
I will say that he puked everywhere.
I mean, it was bad throw up.
It was bad. And we have gotten some insane basketball memes this week. You got this, which, I mean, obviously I hope he's okay, right? Like, I hope that goes without saying.
What do you think? What do you think's going on there?
I don't know, because I saw... Oh, so then if he had food poisoning, then damn, he was in the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay, but if it was food poisoning, I think we can get our jokes off then.
Well, let's just call it food poisoning. What is the point in not calling it food poisoning?
Yeah.
But like, just keep in mind, you could always call throwing up food poisoning, and it's not always a byproduct of food poisoning, but you could always say it is.
Okay. Well, then I'll be careful. But I will say, we got 2 incredible memes this week. So first off, when the Knicks inevitably lose in the playoffs, unless they win the championship, that is going, triple platinum online. Like the first sign of controversy for the playoffs in the Knicks, that one's going triple platinum. The other one is my guy from the White Lotus
in the Duke shirt.
with the Duke shirt, pointing the gun at his head. Like, dude, both of those are gonna go so viral over the next couple weeks. Unless Duke wins the championship or the Knicks win the NBA championship, those are gonna do numbers.
The Duke one will live forever.
Forever. Oh, it's so good. Mike White knew exactly what he was doing there too.
20 years from now, that Duke will lose in the NCAA tournament early, and that you'll see that.
That's the picture.
Assuming we're still here and Twitter still exists. Which is, who knows. But yes, we'll see that forever.
Yes.
Hope he's okay, Tracy Morgan.
I hope he's okay too. It was kind of gross.
People were obviously drinking. People wonder, like, did you just have too much to drink? Often when you see somebody throw up, it's because they had too much to drink, right?
Yeah. Usually on the front row, though, you can't get away with that.
With what?
I don't think you can, like, there's a lot of people keeping an eye on the front row. Like, you can't just be, like, slamming drinks, I don't think. I think you can get cut off.
Yeah, but you can do whatever you want to do all day and then show up at the game.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. So drinking would be one thing. I could see what somebody might think. Other people, I saw this. These Ozempic shots that make you throw up.
Will they really?
That's what they said. They said Tracy Morgan might be throwing up because it's
he's taking Ozempic.
I don't know. I can't say. I'm not with him. I don't work at CVS, but that's what the internet said. And then the other one might be food poisoning. He's claiming food poisoning.
Okay.
Let's just call it food poisoning and wish him well.
Yeah.
But that's a rough spot.
Yeah.
That's a rough. I mean, they got to wheel you out and you got throw up all over you. I mean, you're in Madison Square Garden. It's a little. No matter why you threw up all over yourself and all over the court, no matter the reason, you'd prefer not to do it, right?
A little embarrassing.
I would think. Anyway, I hope he gets better.
I hope he gets better.
Yeah.
Number 5.
Raw on Netflix yesterday. I apologize to anybody I misled. I was like, Raw on Netflix tonight, 7 o'clock. You could stream it. Yesterday, because we were in Brussels. Bennett's been there.
Yeah, that's the capital of Europe.
Big Brussels. Bennett, don't you have to tell me? Do you know who my exchange student, Sylvia? Do you know she works in European Parliament?
Does she really?
Yeah, she lives in Brussels.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's an amazing city, by the way.
She lives there.
We had a blast when we went.
We're going there to visit her. Or at least
it's a cool city, dude. Yeah.
So she lives in Brussels. And last night, John Cena was in Brussels. He opened Raw on Netflix. And it started at 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. It was actually perfect because we talked about it yesterday. And I was like, tonight. And then I noticed in the chat, people were like, no, it starts afternoon because it's in Europe. And I was like, I remember that. And so I just had this moment where I finished all my talking responsibilities and I've got to get in the car and go to the airport. And I just had this moment where I need to turn my brain off for a second. And there is nothing better for turning your brain off. It's the best. And just turning your brain off and just watching stupid wrestling. It's just like...
it's not stupid, but...
it's very serious. But
it's serious.
It just... It felt calming.
Yes.
Almost like...
Totally get
I don't know how to explain it. I needed to just... I was about to... Like, I was snapping at producers yesterday and like...
Oh, yeah.
It was like... I reached a point where it's like, if one more person asked me to do one more thing, I'm going to jump off the 29th floor of this hotel. Like, I cannot be asked to do another thing. I'm about to lose my... And I got in the car and I was just like, whew, I'm not thinking about Duke's road to the Final Four, Cooper Flagg's ankle. I'm just going to watch John Cena do whatever he's going to do here and not think for a minute. I needed it. It was a good 45-minute ride to the airport. I just sat there with John Cena. Did you watch it?
I did.
I thought it was good.
Thought it was really good. I thought WWE did a good job. You know, there was a lot made. First off, okay, I'll just say the Cena thing. He was in his normal. There was a lot made of he's going to show up looking different, right? He's going to shave his head. He's going to have different gear because he's a villain now. No, it was the same Cena that you've always seen. And I thought that was so smart by WWE because you're not doing the gimmicky thing. He's like just, it's more real. It feels more real for him to just, it's still John Cena, but he's pissed now.
Okay, I was not watching wrestling during the height of John Cena.
Yeah.
Or really during any
the ruthless aggression era.
If you say so.
Yep.
I was aware that John Cena was a thing, but I didn't watch wrestling while he was the biggest thing in the world.
I didn't as much either. That was a big break.
So this
for me.
whole John Cena thing doesn't pull at any chords for me. He doesn't mean anything to me. In fact, I find him a little like he is not the type of wrestler I would enjoy. You know, but I know he's a big deal, and so it's hard for me to like how all these when you saw the instant reactions is like no, don't do it, and people even in tears whether they're real or not. I don't have any of that because I didn't experience John Cena in the ways those people did. But in reading about this last night on the flight home, it was like the best. This is what this one wrestling writer was suggesting. The best bits, if that's the proper word, when it comes to this type of stuff, is if there's like a hint of truth in there, like just a little bit of you can maybe. There's just enough there where you can go, oh, I wonder if he really does kind of feel that way. Not really actually feel that way, but I wonder if that's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And
wow, I can't believe he's saying that.
And based on what I read, you could sort of see if you're playing along. You have to lose yourself in it a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you're playing along, you could sort of see how John Cena's been doing Make-A-Wish stuff more than anybody in the history of the world, coming out, smiling, trying to be positive, trying to lift up other people, and the fans would just shit on him all the time and like whatever. And
John Cena sucks.
Yeah.
John Cena sucks. Yeah.
And at some point, it's just like, yo, man, enough's enough. I'm gonna keep trying to make you guys like me, and you never do the way you should or the way I want. So I'm done with it right now. Again, it's stupid wrestling stuff, but there's a little like you could if you're willing to. Detach from reality and go, well, could he maybe feel that way? All these years, I'm just trying to be the nicest guy in the world to everybody, and you're wanting to acknowledge Roman Reigns more than you want, like just whatever. Could he really maybe feel like I'm tired of being y'all's good guy all the time?
Right.
Yeah, I think I could see that, and there's enough there to where it works.
Yep.
And it seemed to work.
It did. I thought he did a good speech. I thought it was cool. You know, when Cody came out and gave it back to him, like he called him Little B. Like, yeah, I love that. But the one thing that just stands out to me, man, and I hate to say it, the European crowds own us. They just do. They are better than us. They are better than us. It is official now, and we got to accept that as Americans.
See, on one hand, I don't love the idea that the road to the WrestleMania is like happening in Europe.
Going through Europe.
Like it feels like this should be happening in St. Louis and Indianapolis and wherever, and like in like at normal start times, and because I don't think SmackDown on Friday night, I don't even think it was live because
it was delayed. Yeah,
but they wanted to put it in prime time, so I don't like that part of it. But the crowds are awesome.
Like that moment with him and Cody in the ring together wouldn't have been the same without that crowd.
Well, I always wonder, like, for people who think everything we're saying right now is stupid and juvenile. And I know those people exist.
I like it. I don't care.
I just like, if you would have just turned it on last night. In fact, you can. You all got Netflix. Go to Netflix and just watch the first 30 minutes of Raw last night, and just look at the way an arena reacts to this just one person standing in a ring talking.
Yeah. They literally both of them, Cena and Cody, both just had to stand there and let the crowd do their thing for 5 minutes because they couldn't get a word in. They can't say anything.
Like we talk about basketball arenas all the time. NBA arenas, college arenas, Cameron Indoor, Allen Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
No arenas pop like wrestling arenas pop every week. A wrestling arena's pop bigger than what makes arenas pop more than John Cena or Jey Uso or Roman Reigns? Beyonce, and she doesn't do arenas anymore, but you get the point.
Right.
It's a very, basketball players don't make it. When John Morant runs out of a tunnel, it doesn't pop like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't, but you get the point. It's just for something that can seem so silly, they get 15,000 people totally immersed in it.
Yeah, dude.
Multiple times a week.
I'm so jealous of the Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. It's such a good chant.
All of it's
such
good.
a good chant.
All of it's good. I had a blast with it. So it was a good escape for me yesterday, and we'll see where it goes from here. I guess they're going to meet again.
Yeah, that was an unfulfilled meeting.
Yeah, nobody touched the other person.
No,
Yeah.
there was a lot left on the table there, I think.
And then Roman says he's coming back, and so we'll get all this figured out.
Yeah,
we'll get all this
man.
figured out. But I thought it was a fun open to Raw on Netflix yesterday, live from Brussels. If you haven't seen it yet, you can check it out, netflix.com. Be back with GP's Carryout.
Debo traded from San Francisco to the Commanders for a 5th round pick. There's no other sport where you would get a player of his ilk for a 5th round pick.
Over under total yards for Debo. If they set it at 1,000, you think he hits that over?
Total yards?
Total yards from scrimmage, total yards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough studio. Let's wrap this up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
Whole bunch of stuff, but we mostly focused on your Memphis Grizzlies. Played late last night in Sacramento. Fell behind by 21. Lost the game by 10. John Morant, once again, did not play. Neither did Santi Aldama. Got 44 points from Desmond Bane. That's a season high. He was 7 of 7 from 3, but it was not enough because the Kings knocked down 23s and outscored the Grizzlies from the three-point line by 21 points. So, slide down the standings and now sitting alone in 5th in the Western Conference standing. Remember when we were second in the West? Wasn't that fun?
I remember that.
That was nice, wasn't it?
That was good times.
Now, in fairness,
we can get back.
Oh, just like by the end of the week, right? By the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that's what's in store for the franchise. But disappointing performance last night while shorthanded. You were an underdog in the game, so not like necessarily a game you were supposed to win that you lost, but you don't want to go to Sacramento, fall behind by 21, lose by 10, waste a big performance from Desmond Bane, and fall to 0-7 in the state of California this season. We got to get our California struggles figured out. Not sure exactly why every time you go to the Golden State, as they say, it results in a loss, but that has been true this season. Hopefully it doesn't remain true forever, because if so, that's going to make things tough.
What's today's biggest game?
NCAA tournament starts tonight. Let's go with the second game on True TV. 8:10 tip, UD Arena, Dayton, Ohio. North Carolina against San Diego State. Both are 11 seeds trying to get into the main bracket. UNC listed as a 4.5-point favorite. Totals 142.5. Big Bet Bennett, how are you going to act? You're going to believe in that North Carolina team that most people do not believe should have been in this bracket.
No, I'll take San Diego State.
Bennett says he's an Aztec.
I think.
Bennett wants to be an Aztec tonight.
I don't really have a justification behind it. I just, it's a big game, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be tight. That's it.
Let me tell you how to justify it. As a college basketball analyst.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how to justify it. Here's how we're going to justify it, all right? Make sure I got us all right. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to do it like that.
We can't.
Well, I'll
San
try.
Diego State lost 2 of their last 3.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try this.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and ask me how to justify it.
GP, how will San Diego State cover tonight versus North Carolina in the first 4?
Well, Bennett, as you know, among the reasons most people, including bracketologists, did not think North Carolina belonged in this field is because they had 13 quadrant 1 opportunities, and they missed on 12 of them. They went 1-12 in quadrant 1. It's one thing if you don't get the chances, but this is a program that clearly had the at-bats, as they say, and took advantage of none of them. Now, San Diego State does not technically provide North Carolina with what would be a quadrant 1 opportunity because recent struggles, they slipped out of the top 50 of the net, but they're still 52nd in the net. The cutoff for a neutral court quadrant 1 opportunity is 50, so this is technically quadrant 2, but it's very close to quadrant 1, and I just told you how much North Carolina has struggled against teams of this caliber this season. That's why I wouldn't expect them to do anything different than what they've been doing since November, and that is struggle against a quality team. Tonight, San Diego State reminds the world why North Carolina didn't belong in this bracket, and that's because when the Tar Heels play good teams, they have struggled almost without exception. And San Diego State is a good team.
Okay.
I mean, I can do it better.
No, I thought it was good.
I know, but I can do it better if you want me to do it again.
Go ahead.
No, I do not want to do it again. That's enough. I'm going to have to say all this in about 30, 40 minutes on another show. So I'll just practice it.
Yeah.
That was just me practicing.
Yeah, I don't have a strong conviction. I'll just go with San Diego State here because I don't think North Carolina should have gotten in.
There you go.
How about that?
That's good
Yeah.
enough for me. Bennett says take the Aztecs and the points.
What are we watching on TV?
Well, I just told you I got to do that on College Basketball Podcast on CBS Sports Network coming up at noon Central, 1 o'clock Eastern. So 35 minutes from now, I'll be on CBS Sports Network with Matt Norlander. You should DVR it and check it out right when you're done with the Chris Vernon Show.
What's the best thing we've read?
Well, I don't know if it's the best, but my bracket is published over at cbssports.com. I'm
going to guess. I haven't seen it.
Okay. Who do you think I got in the final?
I think you got Auburn.
Yes.
Houston.
Yes.
Oh, hang on. I don't think you have all 4 1 seeds.
I do not.
Okay, I'm going to say that you've got Auburn, Houston. Who is coming out of the East region? I don't think you have Duke. I'm going to say that you have coming out of the East region the, dare I say, Alabama Crimson Tide.
I do not have Alabama. I don't love the Grant Nelson injury stuff, although they did say he's likely to be available at least by the end of the weekend. I do have Duke coming out of the East.
Oh, so it's our region that you don't. Do you have the Memphis Tigers going to the Final Four, GP?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
Then I'm going to say that you have the St. John's?
I do.
Yeah, you got St.
Rick
John's.
Pitino and the Big East champs in the Final Four. My Final Four is Auburn, St. John's, Duke, Houston. My championship game is Auburn and Houston. And my title game winner is Bruce Pearl's Auburn Tigers. I don't love that they lost 3 of 4 heading into the NCAA tournament. But for 4+ months we've been playing basketball. That has been the best team in the country, at least the most accomplished team in the country. I don't love asking them to flip a switch and get it back, but there's no obvious reason they can't reset. I really do believe this is part of it. Why did Auburn lose 3 of 4? What Bruce Pearl would tell you is we played 3 good teams. You know, we lost to Alabama, Texas A&M, and Florida. 3 top 20 teams. You realize even with their late struggles, Auburn is literally the only team in the country that never lost to a team ranked outside of the top 20 of the net.
Wow.
So if you hear people saying, I think Auburn's going to lose in the round of 32, just know that until the Sweet 16, at least, they will not play anybody comparable to any team that beat them this season. So Bruce Pearl's like, hey, we played great teams and we lost to them. You know, it happens. And my counter to that would be, but you didn't used to lose to them. You were beating them nonstop. Same type of team. You were just beating them, blowing them out. And then you started losing to them. What happened? Here's what I think. Do you know when Auburn started losing games? Literally the second they wrapped up the SEC regular season outright title.
So you let the foot off the gas a little bit.
And it wasn't just we wrapped up the outright title like we know that. It was people like me, and I'm not implying they were sitting around listening to that on College Basketball Podcast, but everybody who talks about this stuff was saying things like, Auburn's already got the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament locked up. Your coach is already on TV saying, I think we've done enough. I think we're the 1 seed. I think we've done enough. I don't think anybody's going to be able to catch us. Well, that just creates... Everybody always talks about having a sense of urgency and how important that is. You've just taken all the urgency out of everything.
Yeah.
You just announced to the world, we believe we've locked up everything we can lock up until the NCAA tournament. And then what happened? Then they lost. Then they lost again. Then they won a game. Then they lost again. I think they took their foot off the gas a little bit. Well, now you got time to get reset, refocused. Now everything matters again. It is actually true that those games didn't matter to them. Evidence being they got the number 1 overall seed, even while losing them. So the sentiment was correct, but I think the sentiment was probably not good for up here. Now you can get it back. Everything's important again. Everything matters again. I think they're going to be good. I think they'll look closer to the Auburn team that shot to the top of the polls than the Auburn team that lost 3 of 4. As always, we'll see. But I do have Auburn winning the national title.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow will be Wednesday. Chris Vernon will join me. We'll get you ready for another Grizzlies game. We'll look back at these first 4 games, get ready for first 4 tomorrow. Perhaps have a official update on Tyrese Hunter. Should be a fun show. Looking forward to it already. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll enjoy mine. We'll meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
This team is doing everything that Taylor Jenkins and his coaching staff envisioned it could do.
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
With a knock-away.
Good defense.
Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting.
That's no show.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
We are in March, which is Women's History Month. True. And we were talking about how do we kick off the show? What can we talk about? And we were like, why don't we talk about women's shoes? The Sabrina one. Okay.
Can't go wrong.
Right?
That's a good shoe.
And the two, you could argue, is even better. But the one's
you can't
fine.
have the two without the one.
Yeah.
Man.
In the month of February, the Sabrina 2 was the second most worn shoe in the NBA in minutes played. The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube,